This video focuses on a page that calls itself the Voice of Wales. It's mimicking the Real Voice of Wales page. I think it gives them some sort of crazy kick to think that they do. Anyway, this group actually reported me whilst cleaning headstones at the military cemetery earlier in the year for breaching COVID regulations. I was up there just cleaning the headstones because it's well looked after anyway. And they reported me because a media company interviewed me on site during lockdown. This group, pretty much the same as all the other bullies I mentioned in the video, have absolutely no respect for anything. The only thing they can focus on is their petty vendetta against somebody that doesn't agree with their opinion. I suggest you check out the page and you'll see exactly what I mean. Look at these videos, for instance. They're all a bullying, abusive, target type video. Here's the one about the military cemetery they made recently, which shows the level of absolute disrespect they have. You have to ask yourself what type of individual or individuals will go to these lengths just to target and abuse a person who doesn't believe in their opinions. They make jokes about the military cemetery there. Did I only clean the white ones? Grave mistake. Now, this person, whoever is behind the camera, is actually motivated to go up there and video a whole length of headstones going right down the length of the cemetery. And there, under those stones, are heroes, people that went to war for our country and for our freedoms. And sometimes they went to war absolutely knowing that they were not coming back, and they still did it. That's courage, something you do not have on that page. You hide behind a fake profile. You won't put your name to your opinions. And these fallen heroes actually fought to make sure that you're not speaking German and under Nazi rule. You are absolute scumbags, videoing this cemetery just to pursue your own hate. And to think there are 604 people actually like this page. Well, if I were you and I was one of those who liked it, I'd seriously question your reasons for being there. Something that's even worse is actually commenting on this post. This chap here, Thomas Carroll, very vocal, very active, quite an extremist on this page, and he seemed to think that it was no problem, and actually that shows his support for this type of post. There's Elaine Wyatt. Now, in fairness, she only put an emoji with a crying face on it. But just interacting with a post such as this, such a vile, horrible post, is bad enough. And look, Voice of Wales themselves, anonymous cowards, they like their own post. An ordinary decent person would just scroll on by, but look at these here who feel that they have to comment. Making a bit of a joke and an insult there out of that post, making an obscene phone call. Well, let's have a look at who this is, because I've never ever seen this person before. I'd suspect it's either a fake profile or it's somebody that actually has a problem with war dead and military cemetery. It's just a prime example of absolute cowardly behaviour, using something like this to further a hate campaign against somebody else. Anyway, Debbie, I doubt very much you're real, but if you are, you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. There's a certain level of disrespect throughout this post that absolutely reeks. Let's have a look at somebody else on here. Sean Lane. Now, this guy is special. He cannot help himself. He wouldn't have had a second thought as to the fact that that video was capturing the names on headstones of people that actually gave their lives so you could continue your comments, your disgusting behaviour on these posts. Your vile mouth can only be opened because these people died for it. And he is clever enough and intelligent enough to realise that he's using the memory of these people in order to further his own hatred. Although I don't recognise him, it claims to be a local person. Let's have a look at who likes. Let's have seen what the emojis say there. We've got Carla Davis and Voice of Wales. Now, Carla Davis, it's somebody that I have never come across before. So it's either a fake profile or someone that has a problem with this type of thing. If it is a fake profile, that tells me one thing. It is somebody that realises how sensitive this subject is, but doesn't care and chooses to go anonymous in order to further abuse me. Absolute disgrace of a person. Total disgrace. Mark Jenkins. Now, imagine you had a relative buried there that had fought the Nazis only to find out local fascist racist was trying to score virtue signalling brownie points by mowing the grass over your level one's dead body. It would make me feel rage, frankly. As you can see, this is a coward, fake profile, and does nothing but abuse. Doesn't have enough confidence in their own opinions to put their own name to it. Those people disgust me. He is a horrible, nasty person, or she. I have my suspicions of who it is, and I realise that they are probably very cowardly. If I thought you had a pair, I would suggest you met me up that cemetery, and you could explain then why the people that are lying there, the people that fought for your freedom to spout off all this hate, why you thought that was good enough to use as a topic for your hate campaign. To be a part of a page such as this, that thought that the honour of these people was worth using, or not worth much, and used it as part of a post just to have a go at one individual. 604 of you. You should all be ashamed of yourself. And I'd suggest, if you're watching this, to have a look. Here's some examples of the kind of posts they do. Every single one of them is either aimed at me or aimed at somebody that doesn't agree with their opinions. They are relentless, and I use the word extremist quite a lot. This is extremism at its very worst. And perhaps we should consider that the type of people on this group are those who campaign tirelessly and protest a lot for those from countries that we've been at war with to settle in our country without even checking them, people who may well be responsible for filling up our military cemeteries. And there we have Councillor Bainan's post there with a couple of swear words in it. Very big supporter of this page, very big supporter of their type of cause as well. This military cemetery happens to be in his ward. And there they go, disrespecting the Prime Minister, who was the only person willing to stand up to the Nazis. He's got the right sign there for them. I'm with you there on that one, Winston. And here's a coward we've mentioned before, very active on this page. I wouldn't be surprised if he was an admin. Tom Cobley, aka Marcel Laval. Now this chap here has some quite extreme beliefs as well. But again, he doesn't post them under his real name. Doesn't have the courage for that, just like the rest of these type of people. Plenty to say, nothing to do. And there we are. He had a photo of Jerry Adams as his profile picture, which says an absolute ton of things about him. Very supportive of using war graves as a weapon. On this group previously, involved with some of the admins and some of the people that are members, they celebrated an IRA terrorist who blew up a load of children and himself by accident in a chip shop. They called him a freedom fighter. They celebrated the anniversary of the event which murdered kids. I'll leave the end to you, Winston. If you are one of the 604 members, you should be ashamed of yourselves for participating in this group, or you should remove yourself straight away.